We're going to go over the benefits that essential oils can provide you, why it's important to know about your essential oil company that you're choosing to work with, and how you can safely and easily and affordably incorporate essential oils into your daily life. We want to show you guys how easy it can be.
So yeah, I think this is so wonderful to start with what is an essential oil, because a lot of us don't really know what an essential oil is, or we might think we do, but it's actually an aromatic volatile liquid that is extracted from plants. And there's different ways that it can be extracted from the plants. One is through steam distillation, and another is from cold pressing. So we often refer to an essential oil as the lifeblood of the plant. And I love that description. You know, another thing to keep in mind to kind of drive home the point of how concentrated an essential oil is, an essential oil is between 100 and 10,000 times stronger than the herb or the plant form. So if you think about that, you realize that what you have is this very, very highly concentrated, pure, potent part of the plant that holds all of these different therapeutic benefits. And we're going to go over some of those tonight. And it's really exciting because the way that essential oils are made kind of lets you know how they're going to work for you. So we're going to go more into purity and quality in a minute when we talk about something called seed to seal. But if you go into Walmart or Target, or I don't know, you can find oils anywhere, right? And you look on the label and it'll usually say not to ingest. Sometimes it says not to rub on your body, or it has some like kind of warning, warning on there. And that is because an essential oil can be made in a lab with chemicals, and they can make something that smells just like lavender, or very close to the untrained, nose. If you hadn't smelled anything else, you would think, oh, this is an essential oil, it's lavender. And they can actually label it as an essential oil, and it can be synthetic chemicals that smell like lavender. So that's like totally different than what you're getting from Young Living, something that is steam distilled from plants. And we're going to go into seed to seal in a minute, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew the difference, and we'll get more detailed information about that, because they're so potent and so pure and so strong that when you start using them, you're going to notice something in your physical health, in your mental health, in your emotions, and even in your spiritual connection, because of the purity and the potency. But if you learn about lavender here and then you see a lavender on the shelf at Target and you think that you're going to have the same thing happen, you're not. So that's the short story of what an essential oil is. And, there are all different parts of the plant that we use. So sometimes it's the flowers, sometimes it's the needles, sometimes it's the bark. When we talk about rose oil, it takes 5,000 pounds of rose petals to make how much rose oil? 1 kilo of rose oil. So it's a lot of volume of the bark or the petals or whatever parts of the plant we're using to get it down to get these little very special drops of oil.
Inhaling an oil, topical application, or ingesting. And it was interesting when I first started to learn about this, I couldn't understand when I started to talk to certain aromatherapists. They were like, oh, you should never ingest. You shouldn't do that. And I couldn't understand it. And what I learned was, as I started to go down the rabbit hole, it's a great reference book here that I picked up at a certification program, The Chemistry of Essential Oils, if people like to go down that rabbit hole. And it talked about how various cultures influenced the application and the approach of aromatherapy. So you really have the three predominant ways that people use oils. And as I mentioned, the first one is aromatically. Well, that's under the German model of aromatherapy. And inhaling or aromatically, using it via a diffuser or just placing an oil simply in the palm of your hand, which we do quite a bit. I find myself doing this a lot at the office. Just a little oil, activate it to the energy of your body, and breathe it in. And it's a beautiful way to get the therapeutic properties of inhaling it, or just opening the bottle and smelling it. And the thing that's so amazing is, as we have learned, the molecular structure of an essential oil is so small that when you're breathing this oil in, it's traveling up your nose and it actually gets into a cell receptor site where it's kind of like a lock and key application where it will send off an electrical impulse to parts of your brain that can affect you emotionally and physically. And that is why inhaling oils or smelling or diffusing oils can really help ground someone and help them relax, or even wake them up, or help them with clarity or focus or concentration. So it's amazing. One could spend years just studying that. The second application that I definitely jumped right in and using was applying oils topically. Now, there's two different ways that people can apply oils topically on yourself. You can place the oil just straight on your skin, and that's called a neat application. And what I always recommend if someone's going to do this is first just put it on a small patch test on your skin, see if there's any type of reaction. You may notice some oils that are hotter that may feel more warm on your skin. Certainly that's a consideration, but we teach people all kinds of, how to look at things and how to be safe in using it. So topical application could be straight oil on skin, or you could use a carrier oil. And some of the more common carrier oils is like a coconut oil, jojoba oil, and you would literally place the essential oil with a little carrier oil and then apply it to your skin. The reason why people want to use a carrier oil is because you're going to cover more of the part of your body, and it's going to land more on the top of your skin. And so a lot of times you'll see us using that for different creams, serums, or just even like yesterday, I did a adrenal support where I used nutmeg and I was laying on a hot towel. So there's all kinds of applications on the topical side. And the last most predominant way is ingesting the oil or taking it internally. And that's under the French model of using essential oils. So it's funny because when I first started to share with people, oh yeah, I use the oils internally, they were like, you can't do that, that's not safe. And as we're going to touch on, it's really important to use and know the quality of an oil, obviously because of the high concentration levels. And as Kelowna said, because a lot of your oils may be labeled the same way, but it doesn't mean the same thing. So you really have to trust and know what you're doing and using that essential oil. And it's funny because one of my favorite oils is bergamot. And isn't that the oil that's in Earl Grey tea? So when people say to me, no, you can't use it internal, I'm like, have you ever had certain teas? Or, they just kind of disassociate and don't realize that that's really use of oils. And we've used them for hundreds of years. It just may not be as common now. So that's the school that we use them 3 different ways. And it's wonderful.
As Kelowna kind of started to lead into with the what is essential oil, I'm going to tell you a little more about what she referenced with Seed to Seal. And it's something that's unique to Young Living. I think a lot of us, I won't speak for everybody, but kind of raise your hand if you started with oils that were another brand or from the health food store, from the herb store and all that. I did the same. And once I just smelled the difference. So I invite you, if you're using something else or if someone in your life is, to just smell the difference, and you can see what Kelowna was already talking about with the purity. Stay behind me for just a moment, please. So this is Anna. So the purity was very important to me when I started using the oils and decided that I wanted to actually use them on my kiddo, right? And so looking at Young Living, the Seed to Seal difference begins with their transparency and the fact that we can walk onto any one of their farms that they have globally, really around the world. They grow plants as close to the source where they are native as possible. So sandalwood. That's not enough. Your stress away. So sandalwood, for example, is grown in Hawaii, the Royal Hawaiian sandalwood. Lavender is grown on a farm in France where it originated for the company, as well as in Utah at the the main home of Young Living out in Mona. And what seed to seal means is that every step of the process, from sourcing the seeds to, thank you, to planting them in soil that has no pesticides, using water that the irrigation has literally been traced from where it begins to be sure that there's no contamination along the way, having weeding done by hand and using the actual oils as their pest control. They don't use pesticides. All of these things make it a really delicate and intricate process to get that bottle of oil to your shelf. So there's third-party testing and scientific teams that are making sure that the oil has all the properties that are going to give you the benefits that we talk about. The oil has to be distilled, either the steam distillation or the citrus oils are cold pressed from the rinds of the fruit. And that is done at a specific temperature, at a specific pace. So it should take a certain amount of time. And so other companies can often take shortcuts to get there, to get an oil that may smell, like Kelowna was saying, may smell like lavender, but it's not going to have all those constituents that are beneficial and giving you the therapeutic value. So a great way that I heard it explained is that it's like listening to a staticky AM radio versus a high def station. And when you tune into a Young Living oil, it's like you're getting everything in high def. Your cells actually get scrubbed and cleaned, excuse me. And you can see that quality. You can actually experience it as you use the oils. So it really sets Young Living apart with the seed to seal. I'm sorry about the antics. I have a 2.5-year-old as well. So Hubs is putting him to bed and I have a partner, but this is part of why I trust Young Living too. I ended up using them during my pregnancy with the little guy. I used him with him as an infant. And I used to joke when he was, standing up at 7 months old and trying to climb stairs on his feet, that people would say, are you sure the oils are safe? And I would say, if anything, they're just making them develop too well. Like, I just need to slow them down a little bit. So I'm really grateful that I found this kind of quality for our family, and I think you'll see the difference if you haven't already.
So how we're going to get started with this is we're going to talk about, we wanted to show you guys how it's really easy to create these healthy habits that you can incorporate into your daily lives. It doesn't have to be confusing or overwhelming. And the best way to do that is to address 12 of the most popular oils that Young Living has. And because all of them, every body system you have is covered with these 12 oils. And these are the 12 oils that they have geniusly packaged into what they call a starter kit. And that's how most people get started with Young Living. Who here got started with Young Living from getting their starter kit? Yeah, raise your hand. Yes. It just makes so much sense. So what they did is they take these 12 oils that cover every body system you have, your circulatory system, respiratory, immune support system, musculoskeletal system, hormones, it goes on. They package it together. They throw in a diffuser, and you get to choose your diffuser. And it's a $400 value for $165, but they wanted to make it easy for people to get started. So this is the best way. And you can, this is one of the diffusers I chose. It's a desert mist, and there's a couple different diffusers you can choose, and that will affect the price point. Some are more expensive. This is the one that you'll get with the $165 kit, which it's amazing diffuser. It can go for 10 to 12 hours. We put it on when we go to bed and we wake up and it's still going. It's incredible. So, and they also throw in this starter kit, some of the other popular products. You get some samples of some of the other popular products that we use, and we're going to cover those as we go through this little class together too. Now, of course, there's a retail option, but I tell people, why would you pay full price if you can get everything at a discount? Oh, and that's the other thing. One of the best parts about getting the kit, so you have everything at your fingertips, is you then have a wholesale membership with Young Living. So if you did want to purchase anything else, you can get it at 24% off of the retail price. So it's a total win-win situation. And these 12 oils, you're going to learn a lot about tonight. So we're going to start. And I think Tracy's going to kind of kick it off.
Hi. So my topic is diffusers and what makes our diffusers different and the benefits that you receive from using your diffuser. First of all, our diffusers are made out of hospital grade plastic, which is really important when you're using a therapeutic level of an essential oil. You don't want your plastic breaking down and breathing that in. Those little particles can be toxic themselves. So the quality of the plastic is really, really important. The other really big thing that came out a few years back, I don't know if anybody saw this, the plates in the average diffuser that you're picking up at any of the convenience areas, Target, Walmart, a lot of them, actually the majority of them, have lead as their accelerating plate. You definitely don't want to be breathing in lead. It's a neurotoxin and can cause further damage. So it sort of negates using the diffuser in the first place. It's a cool mist, so it acts as a humidifier as it dispenses the oils into the air. And because it's a cool mist, it does not break down the therapeutic value that you receive from using the cool mist diffuser. Our company actually warranties it for a year, which I don't think anybody else does. And ironically, I was picking up something today in CVS, and while I was socially distancing 6 feet apart from the person in front of me, to the left of me was the actual essential oil display with all of the diffusers. And I was shocked at the cost of diffusers in CVS. They are actually more than ours, and they're just coming at you as like the ceramic kit. It didn't come with any oils whatsoever, but more importantly, like I said, we warranty them for a year. They have light functions, timers. The one for children actually has a little noise machine to help them sleep. And when you diffuse, everybody in the room receives benefit. So it's not just a topical, it's for everyone. So I like to set one up in the kitchen, especially like when everybody's doing, say, homework. I can help people focus, or when everybody's coming in from crazy days, I can settle them down because they come in like gangbusters, and you really can set the tone of waking up, concentrating, sleeping up in your bedrooms. So they're ideal.
It's become the first thing we do when we come downstairs now.
It's the easiest way to introduce yourself to using oils. Start low and slow, blending them together into diffusers, a great idea too. Receive multiple benefits all at once, but definitely low and slow when you start.
Yep. Now I think we're going to talk about the oils. So the 12 oils that I was talking about that come in the kit, we're going to kind of go through them one by one and just share how we just use them. These are practical things that you guys can all do, and we'll not only share what we're doing, but why we're doing it. What are the benefits? We're going to start with lavender.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole. So I am going to talk about lavender. So lavender is considered like the Swiss Army knife of oils. It is so versatile. It's gentle enough for children. And there's honestly so many ways to incorporate this oil into your life daily, multiple times daily, for instance. So first I'll talk a little bit just about what lavender is good for. So when we think of lavender, we think of relaxing, calming vibes, right? That's what my mind goes to immediately. So in order to help promote that, we can do that by diffusing it. We can add a couple of drops to maybe some Epsom salt for a nice bath. We can also use that cupping method that we talked about. So putting a couple drops in your hand, rubbing and just inhaling, and it's like an oil high. It just completely relaxes you. It's also amazing for skin. So lavender is so nourishing, hydrating. It's great to repair skin, to soothe irritation and blemishes. It's also fantastic for cuts or sunburn, getting burns from the stove or burns from a curling iron. I've used it for bee stings too. Just put a drop on a bee sting. I think that really has helped as well. And it's also a main oil in the allergy trio. So I think someone's going to talk about that a little bit later, which is great for supporting allergies during the allergy season. So lavender, all right, go downstairs, okay? Sorry. It's also fantastic for laundry uses. So I'm gonna go into a couple specific ways that I use it. I'm sure everybody has their own ways, but I use this oil multiple times a day. So if I'm gonna start down in my laundry room, dryer sheets was one of the first things I replaced once I got my starter kit. And it's just due to the fact of how many chemicals are in dryer sheets. So I got some wool dryer balls. Young Living did have them. I'm not sure, they're in and out of stock, but they also have them at Trader Joe's. That's where I got a couple that I have. And I just put a couple drops on the dryer balls before I put my clothes into the dryer. And then there's also an option for to make a linen spray, which is also super easy too. You just need a little spray bottle, couple drops of lavender, some witch hazel. Witch hazel just helps things stay blended, and then you top it off with water. You can spritz your pillows, you can spritz your kids' pillows. It's so calming, especially when you're trying to sleep at night. Obviously, diffusing too. I always like to put my diffuser on about a half hour before I go into my bedroom, close the door, and then when I walk in, you're like walking into lavender fields. It's just sets the tone to promote a good night's sleep, and it really just helps winding down and whatnot. So another separate way that I used it and was kind of my aha moment was my daughter struggled with eczema. So she had terrible eczema patches on her scalp, on her skin, and went to her pediatrician. They wanted her on a certain medication, and I just didn't really want her on that for the rest of her life. So I wanted to try to find the root cause. So of course, in combination with getting her gut healthy, so getting her on a good probiotic, I started incorporating lavender specifically just into her bath. So I would run her bath, put a drop or two, or I would just squirt some of the lotion out after her bath, put a drop in the lotion, mix it up, and then kind of rub it on her body. Also, I'm trying to think of other ways. Sunburns, I think I talked about that, putting it on sunburns. I also actually put it on my skin every single night in a face serum. So I know someone mentioned some carrier oils like jojoba oil. If you have the starter kit, if you add some lavender and frankincense, it's amazing for aging skin, sunspots. It's just such a versatile oil. I could probably go on and on. My biggest recommendation for any oil that you're using is to leave it out visible so that you can see it, because you're going to be so much more inclined to just grab it quick, especially if you have a bee sting. You're going to want that oil right away. So just leave it out, leave it accessible so that you can see it.
That's such a good tip. Yeah. And my husband has burned himself. My husband's a chef. He's burned himself and has come home and literally just grabbed the lavender and just put it on neat right on the burn. And he says it instantly feels soothing, and his burns heal really nicely with it too.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. I think lemon is next. We're going to talk about lemon. Leah.
Me. Yep. So lemon, this is one of my favorite oils, you guys. I order it every month because it's everywhere. It's in my bag. It's at home. It's in the kitchen. I think one of the things that probably everyone in here does is add this to your water. So every morning, big cold glass of water, even before I have coffee, which is amazing that I can even do that. But it tastes so good. So it'll get you to drink water. So if you're one of those people that has a hard time, what do they say? One ounce for every...
Half your body weight in ounces.
Thank you, Bonnie. I could never do that until I had oil. So it's a great thing to do. And it's also great for detoxing your body. It helps support your liver. So it's not just drinking water and getting the benefits of the water. The lemon actually does some really great things for your body. So I do this all day long. And if you don't like water as much, you can even make tea. If you have tea, you can add a drop to your tea. Some people love it so much, they'll actually just boil water and, after it cools just a little bit, just add lemon to the warm water and they love it. So there's a couple different ways that you can do that. It also helps with digestion. So if you're someone that needs a little digestion support, lemon actually does help. There are other oils that help too, but lemon does that. And it's also really good to help you if you have like a toxic overload situation going on. So think about like draining your lymphatic system, getting rid of the junk. So I like ingesting this oil probably more than any other. So the other thing I do with this is I diffuse it. This oil, when you smell it, it smells like sunshine. It's like happy. It's actually one of the oils in the blend Joy. If you've ever smelled that, that's like a happy oil. So think of this as uplifting. This is really good, you guys, if you have some anxiety or if you're feeling a little depressed. This is a wonderful oil to support your emotions. I actually started diffusing this in the morning because it's also good. This is what's so cool about oils. They're good for so many different things. So this is also good to help with your clarity and your concentration. So I actually have been diffusing this with basil in the diffuser on my desk in the morning. And it's amazing. I don't know, basil makes me feel like summery because it's still cold here. And so does lemon. So good for that too. So I talked about your emotion. Oh, cooking. Basically, you guys, anytime something calls for lemon, you can use this. So if you make frosting, you can add lemon essential oil to flavor it. You can make, I make salad dressing with olive oil. You can use it to make marinades for like fish and chicken. So basically anything that calls for a lemon, here you go. And it's more economical to have this, you guys, because anytime you have herbs or lemons and they go bad or you don't use them quick enough, this lasts forever.
And the really cool thing about putting the lemon oil in your water is that the lemon oil it's not acidic, so it's not going to mess with the enamel on your teeth like lemon juice will. So you don't have to worry about that. Right.
So lemon juice, because it's, you've got it in the pulp, that's where that acid comes in. So people are afraid. I've had people say, oh, I don't want to, ingest the lemon because I'm worried about my gums. You don't have to worry about that because it's coming from the rind, which is great. And then the last thing, this is amazing, lemon for your cleaning, you guys. So this stuff will take off gum, anything sticky. So if you buy like a wine glass or something at Home Goods and you can't get the sticker off, all you do is put a drop on the sticker, wait like 40 seconds and it will wipe right off. I put it on my toothbrush and scrub the buttons on my microwave that get greasy from the splatter and just wipe it off with a towel. And then I do a lot of painting projects and I often have like paint on my hands. All you have to do is put like a drop in your palm and go like this, like you're putting lotion on, and it like melts the paint off your hands. It's amazing. So think about how that would work in all of your cleaning. So if you want to make a scrub for your bathtub to get the gunk off, lemon is awesome in your kitchen. So I could talk for 20 more minutes on lemon, but I won't. It's just awesome, you guys. So really, if you do anything, start putting this in your water in the morning.
Oh, peppermint. Peppermint is next. Okay, and I'm actually talking about peppermint. So peppermint is another one of the most popular 12 oils is peppermint. And I wanted to also point out like how Tuts mentioned earlier how you can take certain oils internally, and Young Living's internal line is called the Vitality oils, and they're labeled differently. They have a white label. So some of the oils in your starter kit will have a white label. That just means you can take them internally, but you can they also will come in a bigger bottle that will have a solid label, because you can also put them on topically and put them in the diffuser. It's just that when you can take something internally. Yeah, there you go, Leah. See, she's got the solid label lemon and then the Vitality lemon. So there's just different labeling laws, because something you can take internally, you can't also have on the bottle, oh, you can put this on topically. They have to have 2 separate labels. So it's a big deal. But Young Living complied and made it happen for us. So that's the difference in the labels. But anyway, so peppermint, I also love peppermint in my water. This is going to be your instant energy, you guys. Who could use some more energy? Dude, I could. Yeah, thank you. This is so good. So it's super strong. This is just peppermint leaves. It's just peppermint leaves in this bottle. So it's strong. And I'll do like a drop on my tongue, or you can put 1 drop on your thumb and press it to the roof of your mouth. So we either on the thumb or on the tongue, press it to the roof of your mouth. Instant, your sinuses will clear instantly. It is amazing. I also like to do, this is my water bottle, 40 ounces. I gotta drink 2 of these a day, and I will put 1 to 2 drops in here, and I'll drink it, and it's just like, it's so energizing. It feels so good. You have to try it. And also, while we're talking about putting oils in water, we should mention that you want to use either a stainless steel container or a glass container. You don't want to put oils in something that's plastic or styrofoam, because the essential oils, they pull toxins, so they will actually kind of destroy the plastic or the styrofoam. There'll be a hole in your cup. So you don't want to do that. So use metal or glass, right? Okay, so in your water, easiest thing to do, you will be so happy. Also, peppermint in the diffuser is another way just to get that energy bomb from it, just breathing it in. And this is, again, we're building up the hype for that allergy trio, because there's one more oil when we get there. Oh, are we supposed to get there now? We're supposed to get there now. So there's one more. Oh, we covered them all. We did lavender, lemon, and peppermint. That's it. That's the trio. Okay. And to talk about the trio and how we use it, we're going to have Dina. Dina, you're going to share with us, right?
I am. Hi, I'm Dina, coming at you from Mexico, where some of you said it was cold where you are. It is not cold here. I had to actually realize I still have my sunglasses on my head. So talking to you about LLP, lemon, lavender, peppermint, that trio for me, I wanted to jump in here and talk about it because it's been completely game changer for me. Years ago, when I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, who's now 14, I started with allergies that I had never had before in my life. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, good. And I didn't know what to do. I'd never had them before. I ended up going to the doctors here, and I was taking antihistamines, which I just can't tolerate. I hate taking medication anyway, but the dry mouth and the, I can't stand them. So I just also, looking at my desk reference book here, just the talking about hay fever, the allergic reaction that causes the release of histamines and the inflammation of nasal passages in the sinus area. So any of you that dealt with allergies, oh my goodness. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I would get it so bad here after rains and the pollen's flying. The back of my property isn't fully, I haven't finished my house yet. And so I'll get like a gazillion weeds in a jungle out there. And I will get so bad that I am wanting to like rip my eyes out. I'm sneezing 50 times in a row. I don't even need to go to the gym or do any abs because that's taken care of because I'm exhausted from all the sneezing. So when I started with oils, it was just over 3 years ago when I discovered Young Living. And shortly after that, I learned something about the allergy trio, the LLP. So that is these 3, LLP, lavender, lemon, and peppermint. Literally this trio, life-saving. So what my diffuser, number one, as ladies were talking about, I will make up a roller with equal amounts and with or without carrier, however you want to handle it. And I will keep this in my purse. Like I will literally keep it around so that I will be putting it on me. If I feel myself starting to get all like itchy, I'll put it on my wrists. I'll even put sometimes on my nose. I don't know how recommended this is, but this is what works for me. I'll put some on my finger and then I'll like breathe it in. I've even gone so crazy, and long before everything that's happening now because of the dust and driving around town, sometimes I would wear a mask, and this is an old one that I had. It's not taken away from medical professionals, but I discovered like 2-3 years ago that I could put oils on the inside. So that's something, and that would help me. I would even prepare capsules, gel capsules that have equal amounts and a little bit of carrier. I've gone so far as to even making my own lip balm with that trio in it, so that I've got that I can have, if I need to, I can put it like under my eyes so that it helps with flaring up. And if I've gotten really, really bad with my eyes, sometimes I'll even put the trio in my diffuser and then like put my eye over top. Of course, you can't put oils directly in your eyes, but I will put my eyes like right over the mist that's coming out, and it will help with the like massive itchy eyes so well. And I've even made these little inhalers with that trio. So in the diffuser, in a roller, in a inhaler, in my lip balm that I made DIY home. Oh, and another one where when my eyes got really, really bad and I didn't have my diffuser with me, I would put some of the oils, either the trio. I'll usually keep that trio in a separate bottle around the house, so I've got them going, so I don't have to be, doing separate drops. I've got the equal amounts in a bottle, but sometimes I'll roll it right on my hands, put my hands together, and instead of breathing it in, well, also breathing it in, sometimes I'll just put it like over my eyes, not ever touching my eyes or not getting too close. But sometimes I'll put it like over my eyes and start blinking, and it will get rid of, anyway, there you go. It has been a game changer. So that trio is brilliant.
I carry my roller around with me too, and Dominic carries his roller around with him too. And I like to actually, I do it along, like behind the ears and down the neck, and then I like to do one swipe across the forehead. Ooh. Yeah, again, being careful of the eyes. And Amy's got her spray. You have
so I repurpose a bottle with a spray top, and actually I like to take it internally. So I still dilute it with a carrier oil, and I put a spray top on and spritz under the tongue. So when you hold something sublingually under the tongue, it has a really powerful effect, gets right into the body. And that is my go-to a few times a day when the season gets really bad. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's such a good tip. Such a good tip. So LLP, you guys, you got to try it. Equal drops with or without carrier oil. It's helping so many people in our community. There's so many testimonies. There are some other oils that help with allergy relief as well, but these three are kind of nailing it.
So easy. And they come in the kit. They come in the kit.
Yeah.
Boom. You've got it right from the get-go.
It's fantastic. And and Kathy, you wanted to share something about lemon, right? Kathy, you know me. Oh, now she mutes herself. I'm going to unmute you. You're muted. Hold on. Let me unmute Kathy real quick. Where is she? Kathy. Oh, can you unmute yourself, Kathy?
All right, how am I now?
Yes, you're good. You're good.
Okay, yes, I use it for cold sores, the lemon oil. I take a Q-tip and a little bit of the lemon oil, and it never erupted. This is like the third time that I, because stress causes cold sores. And I always just take a Q-tip with a little bit of lemon oil, and it never erupted. It was gone in a couple of days.
Wow, that is such a great practical
tip. You know how it
tip.
cracks when you're eating and stuff? Never happened.
That's amazing. That's so cool. That's wonderful. All right, cool stuff. Yeah, if you guys have any practical ways that you're using these oils, please just jump in, unmute yourselves and jump in. This is what we all learn from each other. We're going to talk about stress away next.
Speaking of stress.
Yeah.
Everybody needs this right now more than any time, I think. But Stress Away is actually, the first 3 oils were singles. This is actually the first blend we're talking about. So Young Living has a bunch of single oils and a bunch of oils that are blends that are meant for specific purposes. So you don't really have to think about blending yourself if you don't want to. So Stress Away has lavender, cedarwood, lime, copaiba, and vanilla and ocotea, I believe. And my story about a little bit with Young Living, Amy and I actually went to PT school together, and how I kind of transitioned over figuring out more therapeutic grade essential oils versus store-bought, if you will, is my fertility journey, or infertility journey, if you will. So doing a lot of doctor's appointments for me, I actually have I have white coat syndrome. I always have high blood pressure when I sit in the chair, and it's just crazy, and I can't get over myself. And I know I have low blood pressure or regular, but when I sit in a chair, it's crazy. And so if you think about that aromatic use of essential oils, your nose is the closest thing to your brain, to your limbic system. And within 22 seconds, you can have a response to either regulate emotions, heart rate, blood pressure, whatever it may be. So when I first got my kit, I knew that this was the oil I wanted to physiologically challenge, because I'm a science geek as a physical therapist, and I like to know that things work and not that they just smell pretty. So I was going to appointments weekly. So the nurses knew me. I sat in the chair extra times, and I put Stress Away on my wrist, rolled it right on my wrist, and sniffed the whole time that they were taking my blood pressure and before. And it literally was 120/80. Or 120/60. It was normal versus like crazy. And that for me was insane, because they were all like, "Oh, you're calm this time." I'm like, "I guess so." But I knew it was this, because there's nothing else that was different about any scenario. So that was for me the first like physiological eye-opening situation with the essential oils and the differences in grade and therapeutic value. The other cool thing about your kit is it's going to actually come with one of these little fitments. So let me show you a really easy trick. Is you can pop off the top really easily like that, which will come in handy when your bottle you think is empty, because then you can throw the top and the bottle in either water, so you can get a little extra bit on top, put the fitment on top, screw it down, and you instantaneously have your first roller, and you can roll it right on wherever you want. So you get 2 of those in your starter kit. I automatically would throw it on to Stress Away. I'd probably pick Pan Away or Peace and Calming as my second for my fitments, but Stress Away for sure. When you get your kit, don't think about anything else, but just put that roller on and start rolling. If you don't want to do that first, put it right in your diffuser. You can also make little sprays. I'll have little spray bottles, or you can repurpose and take it to work and spray it on your coworkers so they can calm down. It works really well. I actually have dogs too. I use the essential oils on my dogs all the time. And this is one that, especially like fireworks, thunderstorms, if I'm home especially and I can get it on them and know it's coming, they immediately I'll just rub some in my hand, pet it down their back, and they will calm down. Or I'll put it in the diffuser and have it going. If I know it's like firework time, I have my diffuser running the whole entire time, because I live near the beach and there's constant fireworks basically 24/7 from June to August. The other cool thing about if you're introducing oils to dogs or any pets, and diffusing is the best way to do it, because it actually disperses the molecules in a very large area, and you always want to have an area where they can run away if you want to. But the key is to open up a bottle and just have them. Animals are smart. If they come to it, it's going to be an oil that you can at least try on them. If they run away from it, put it away. There's always another oil that has a purpose, and they don't want it. So that's just an easy way to kind of help introduce if you have pets in the house, and just make sure. But diffusing by far is the best way to introduce to pets. So
Stress Away is the one I use on my dogs too, when it's, because we have hunting season around here. So there'll be like random gunshots. People are getting ready for hunting season, and Cash will get so scared. Literally, his body is shaking. Yeah. And within a few minutes, the Stress Away, I do the same thing. 1 drop, I pet down his spine, or I'll leave the lid off of it and set it by him.
Or I'll just have him sniff the hand. And again, 22 seconds, whether you're an animal or a human, it's still going to your brain. So
Works
they should
so
calm
well.
down pretty quickly.
Amy St. Germain is asking what area of the body is best to use stress away roller?
Ooh, well, you have larger areas for your pores on the wrist, behind your ears, and on the bottom of your feet. So those would be my go-tos, unless anybody else wants to jump in on that one.
I have something to say quick. So I actually was not a big fan of Stress Away immediately. It has a bit of a vanilla hint to it, and I just didn't really like vanilla. So I would put it on the bottoms of my feet because I wouldn't smell it. And now my body craves it. And I think that just goes to show that if you don't initially like a certain oil initially, that may mean that your body may need it. And I for sure know I need Stress Away. So now my body craves it and I love the smell. I include it in a lot of different rollers that I use, whether it's emotional support oils or perfume oils. So if there is an oil that you're not totally loving, but you need it to support you in a certain way, putting it on the bottom of your feet is always a great way.
That's a good tip. Yeah.
That's my story, Bonnie.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. We got Raven. Dina, tell us about Raven. Gina.
Sorry, I'm struggling to get my the mute off. So Raven, once again, in the desk reference, looking it up without peeling back the label, it's Ravensara, lemon, wintergreen, peppermint, eucalyptus, radiata. It is a blend, so not a single oil, and it is for respiratory support. It is it fights against respiratory disease. This is what it says in the desk reference, and infections such as tuberculosis, influenza, and pneumonia. It's highly antiviral and antiseptic. So Raven is one that does come in your starter kit in the United States. Where I am in Mexico, we have RC, and I think in Canada, where a lot of my team is also, they've got that. So Raven, amazing for opening up your airway, stuffy, and things like that. I have a little story about it that I just want to share with you real. So anything breathing, you can Raven or RC. So I had RC on hand. I ended up getting Raven, and I at the beginning, you know, I find, and I know that most of you that are using oils do know that after a while your instinct kicks in, and I can turn to my big giant beautiful book when I need something, but very often you will start to know what you need and you're going to gravitate towards what you need. So my mom, some of you might have met her in person. She's 71. She's here actually visiting right now. She trying to get back to Canada. She'll get there soon. She's been a smoker for a very long time. When she gets sick, it goes straight to her chest, and she's had a very hard time many years. So it was 2 years ago, January, that she got off the plane, and by the time we got bags and got home and everything, it was probably 10:30 at night, and we came in and she set the bags down and she said to me, Dina, I need to see a doctor. And that scared me because, I mean, other than what happened this last week, she never ever wants to see a doctor. I mean, ever. So I knew it was serious. And what she admitted was that she'd gotten sick prior to traveling. That was 2 years ago, nothing to do with what's going on now. And she hadn't slept. She'd been coughing nonstop. She had been super stuffy. She hadn't been able to lie down. So I said to her, you know, we could go to the emergency, or can we try something? Or do you want to go now, or do you want to wait till tomorrow for a doctor? And she said, no, we'll wait until tomorrow. But that was when instantly my instinct kicked in. So Raven has eucalyptus radiata in it. And I also had on hand the eucalyptus globulus. So what I did was it came to me that I remember when I was a kid and my parents, when I was stuffy, used to heat hot water and put Vicks. Well, I don't recommend doing that ever again anymore. You know, we can do a lot better with the essential oils. So what I did was instinctively, I grabbed Raven, I grabbed RC, and I grabbed eucalyptus. So not all of those in the kit, but I boiled some water, put some drops in a bowl, tented her head over that. She breathed up for maybe 10 minutes. She kind of sputtered and coughed at the beginning, then she went to bed. And so in the morning, she didn't say another word, she just went to sleep. And in the morning, she opened the door and she kind of patted out, and I said, "How are you doing?" And there was that moment. I mean, some of you that have used oil, or many, and that moment when you go like the game changer, the aha moment, the whatever, she looked up at me and there was that look of shock that when I think about it, it still gives me goosebumps. She said, "I didn't cough. I slept all night. I didn't cough once." She was in shock. Like when she realized that just a few minutes of, you know, the first time she'd ever tried that, breathing in some oils changed the game for her. So when I had the opportunity to talk about Raven, and that also throwing in RC, and they all have eucalyptus, and hey, I just threw in another one. That was my instinct kicking in. It worked. She's done it again since. It works for her. Raven since has become, she says it's her jam. Like she loves this oil. It helps her lungs, which need help. And anyway, amazing, amazing, amazing for respiratory support. And everybody needs this. So.
Wow, that is such a great story, Dina. Thanks for sharing. I'm so glad it was able to help your mom. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That she was
Thanks,
like
Dina.
instantly just felt it.
Can I jump in on a quick Raven?
Yeah.
So if you guys are either sing or like to run or work out, just rub some Raven on your chest like 15-20 minutes before you go out for a run, you go out to exercise, or like before I go to sing, I always rub Raven on my throat and my chest just to help open everything up. Just a little tidbit.
Great tip. One of my friends actually made a Raven chest rub. So when you guys start to get into using essential oils on the daily, we have all these awesome like recipes we can send you, and we'll get together, and when we're not in quarantine and we have like little parties where we make stuff and chest rub. She made this with beeswax and coconut oil, and the Raven essential oil and RC essential oil are both in here. And me and Dominic's just been putting it on our chest and the throat, Noelle, and it just feels so good. And it smells amazing too.
So much better than store-bought stuff that's got petroleum-based. We don't want that on our skin. So
yeah,
awesome.
so much better. And because of the respiratory support that this blend offers, we've also been using it in the diffuser a lot these days.
So we are going to massage our ears because that is one place that you can actually apply your essential oils to the outside of your ears. We never drop straight essential oil inside of our ears, and we also don't drop essential oils straight inside of our eyes. If you ever get an essential oil in your eye, keep massaging your ears. If you ever get an essential oil in your eye, do you know what you do? You use carrier oil, not water. So Young Living has a carrier oil called V6, or you could use olive oil or coconut or whatever you have around. You'd put that in your eye and it slows down the absorption of the essential oil. If you put water, it'll drive that essential oil in deeper and it'll hurt more. But you'll do it. You'll get peppermint in your eye and you'll be like, oh, they told me about this. Where's my carrier? So I actually keep a little dropper bottle of V6 upstairs and downstairs, just in case we ever need it.
That's a great tip for the carrier oils, and I have mine in a dropper bottle too, you guys. So just easy access. You can grab it real quick. Great tip.
So how do you feel after massaging your ears? Like kind of warm and tingly, right? So I wanted to show you a little chart before we talk about Digest that has different points on the ears that you don't have to memorize, but there are acupressure points on the ear, and you can either target a specific area of your body or system of your body by looking at the chart, or you could just put an essential oil like lavender and give yourself an ear massage. That's just one way that you could use the oils in that topical method that we talked about. And somebody had a really good question, like, where do you put stress away? Where do you put any of these oils, right? So there's different ways that you would think. So I'm going to talk about digize. So digize supports healthy digestion. So where do you think you would want digize to be? In your digestive system. It's actually a vitality oil, and it is a blend of several different essential oils that are all supportive for healthy digestion. So it's a vitality oil, which means you can take it internally. I'm going to show you what I do with digize. So I actually put it right above my mouth and I drop it straight under my tongue. And the reason I do that is because sublingually is another way that the essential oils absorb very rapidly into your system. So if I'm feeling bloated, if I have overeaten, if I have had too much gluten or dairy or sugar or a combination of spicy foods that doesn't agree with me, I will do that. I actually use digize every day before and after meals just because it helps me to digest my food better anyway. I tend to have a sensitive digestive system, and when I use digize, I feel a heck of a lot better. So it has tarragon, it has ginger, it has patchouli, it has peppermint, it has a couple other essential oils, all supportive for the digestive system. Some people just get a lot of relief with peppermint, and other people really feel like digize is the key. If you don't like the smell or the taste of it, you might not want to rub it on your belly, which is another place where often people put it. You could put it on the soles of your feet, and there is a map of your entire body on the soles of the feet. So there are VitaFlex charts in your reference guide, which is a book that everyone should get once you get your kit, and we'll tell you where to get it. But it has a map of the body on the soles of the feet. And the digestive system is on the lower part of the soles of your feet, right above the heels. So you could stimulate those areas on your feet with your digize oil, or just rub oils all over the soles of your feet. Because like we talked about, that's oh, thank you, Bonnie. Look at how good you are. So you could look on your chart and stimulate specific points, or you could just rub it all over the soles of the feet. But I have seen amazing things happen with digize oil. I've seen a constipated toddler get their feet rubbed with digize and then have to go to the bathroom after having not gone for several days. I have personally experienced many digestive benefits from using digize. So it's a life-saving oil that I would never be without. It's in my purse. I travel with it. I have it in every room of the house. It's right next to my bed. So if I ever wake up in the middle of the night and I don't feel good, I can just drop it under my tongue. And I think someone else can talk about the next oil. I was all excited to talk about another one, but oh, you don't like, oh, wait, someone's saying can't stand the smell. Right. So some people really don't like the smell of it, but it works so well that you'll probably learn to love it. If you need digestive support, you can put it in a capsule. Deborah Tuttle was just holding up a bottle of capsules, which Young Living sells the just empty caps. You break them apart. That's why I like to keep my carrier in a little dropper bottle. You can put a couple drops of carrier oil into the capsule and then put a couple drops of digize in there, snap it closed and swallow it. And we use carrier oil for the same reason that we use it topically, because it slows down the absorption of the essential oil so that it's not so harsh on our stomach when the capsule dissolves. If you didn't use it, it would probably be fine, but it's more gentle, especially with a stronger oil like oregano. I wouldn't ingest oregano oil without a carrier because I know it's way too strong for me. So anyway, digize. Everybody's gonna love it.
My friend uses this for, she gets heartburn a lot because she's not that careful with her diet, and it helps so much. My friend and my mother-in-law will just take a drop under the tongue, or not actually under the tongue, on the tongue, or a drop in water and drink, and it just instantly helps them with heartburn. And then Tuts, you wanted to share a capsule story with the digize too, right? I'll unmute you.
Unmute myself. There we are.
Okay.
Yeah, basically it was the same thing Kelowna was saying. I got the veggie caps and someone I know was experiencing discomfort, ate a really heavy meal. So we literally took about 3 or 4 drops of Digest, because again, the blend of itself so synergistically works for a person to support their digestive health. So we ended up doing that. And even though it's a combination of oils and Digest, I actually even put some lemon oil in it, because lemon is a carminative, I believe that's how you say it. So it reduces gas. So put that all in the capsule. The person took it, and probably within 15 minutes, it was like, okay, I'm good. You know, and it was one of those things where, imagine you're stuck in a restaurant and you might have eaten that great rich food, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, that hit me wrong, and there's nowhere to run. So it's good to have these oils on you.
Yeah, and you'll notice when you start to use your oils, you'll probably end up with an oil bag that you keep in your purse. And Digest, well, this isn't Digest, but Digest will be one of your go-tos. Your go-tos like Thieves and Lemon and Digest. We'll see what ends up in your oil bag.
I bet you had that one with you when you were here in Mexico, right, Bonnie?
Oh yeah. Oh
After all
yeah.
those tacos? Yeah.
If you're going on vacation, bring Digest with you. Bring it.
Yeah.
And the next oil we're going to talk about is Peace and Calming. So Peace and Calming, this is a blend. In this blend, you have tangerine, orange, ylang ylang, patchouli, and blue tansy. And you'll kind of use this oil the same way you use Stress Away. This helps so many people with stress and anxiety. And this is one you'll use topically, or you can put it in the diffuser. And my story with Peace and Calming is Jewel, my second dog we got 2 years ago. Her first day in the house, she's really anxious, and she is pacing and pacing. And she's a high energy dog anyway, but she was just pacing and pacing and pacing and pacing. So I was like, let me just try this. So I took Peace and Calming and I held it out to her. I took it out and I held it out, and she licked her lips. She didn't leave the room. She stayed in the room and licked her lips. And I was like, okay, she's going to be okay with this. I just put 3 drops in the diffuser, and then I sat in the chair over there and I just waited. And within 3 minutes, you guys, she was curled up on the rug by my feet in the same room that the diffuser was in, chilled out. It was like magic. It was so freaking cool. I love this oil. So this is her oil. This is Peace and Calming for Jewel. Does anyone else have any stories they want to share about Peace and Calming?
This is one of the most amazing ones for kids, and especially like into baby and toddlers. In my experience, when Sam was a baby, we had to take him for an ultrasound of his sacrum. They sometimes have a little extra dimple that they had to check out, and the tech immediately said they always scream like, you know, they hate this. It's okay, but we have to get through it. Kind of like, just brace yourself, mom. It's going to be awful. And I always had either Peace and Calming or Gentle Baby with us. And so I had to hold him like on my lap. He was probably 3 or 4 months old at the time. And I just had the Peace and Calming on a stuffy or a little thing with him. And he just like hung out and looked at her. And the girl was like, what the hell? What did you just do? Like, I don't understand. And it was one of those really cool demos of it. And it's been an oil that he'll still ask for. He's on to Tranquil as a new favorite, and that's a roller that's in the same family of those calming ones. But Peace Common is what he says. And it's just changes the tone, is so grounding. And I find it especially so for kids.
Peace and Calming and lavender in the diffuser at night is perfect.
Ooh, and lavender. I have not tried that. I will try
that.
There you go. All right, we want to talk about Valor. Jill?
Hi. Before I start this, I'm just going to take a sniff because this is my first presentation, I guess you could say, that's not having to do with teaching. So
you're a natural. You're a teacher. You'll be a natural at this.
You would think that. So if it's about reading it, yeah. Valor was not something I picked up right away. Well, first of all, to let you know, quick story, my family has been using alternative medicine since I was a child. We used to drive hours to doctors who would work on my mother's hypoglycemia and my cousin's thyroid with vitamins and herbs and things like that. So my entire life, I never really did traditional medicine. I would buy or get Young Living oils separately. And finally, I said, my daughter was doing it and she's on there. Hey, Josie, Jordan. And I saw what this great life she had. Like, she was calm, she was healthy, she was happy. And so I said, okay, after 20, I actually started using Young Living when it like first came out. I said, okay, I'm doing it. So I opened the Valor. It's black spruce, camphor, blue tansy, frankincense, and geranium. It said courage in a bottle. And I said, oh, okay. But I have more important things I need right now. I was going out and I said, oh no, let me crack this open. It honestly works. I now, being the teacher that I am, have props. I put it on a cotton ball or a pom-pom, put it in my, put it in the car, put it in the air vent. I have this old jar that had one in it. I'll put one in there to leave in the bathroom. Nowadays, when you're going out, you have masks. You know, I put it either on the filter, or if I have a paper mask, or my blingy one that, you know, doesn't have a filter. That's just for my dress mask. So I'll just put it right on there. And honestly, I know I have to coordinate, it's my thing. So Valor is good for stress, aches and pains, sleep. Just like a lot of the other oils have multiple uses, the excitement for me is finding out which one works best for me for what I need. So, so for me, Valor, first of all, I did it as the stress thing. And then I was reading up on it after that. And I said, oh my gosh, it says for aches and pains. Now I have a balance disorder, so I walk kind of odd. So I'm always like kind of sore. So then I got a second bottle that I could keep a roller on next to my bed, so I didn't have to keep switching it off and on. And I just literally put it on the back of my neck and right on the sore spot where my back gets tender from walking crooked. And then the other day, I woke up, I must have slept with my jaw clenched. I was having one of those, forgot to use my lavender. So I put it on my jaw and it was like, oh, it literally, for me, this was one of the most astounding aha moments I've had was with Valor, because I wasn't familiar with it. And again, I keep this one by my bed. If I forget, wake up in the night, I'll put it on my big toe, and you don't want to see this under my armpit for sleeping. You know, they say that's, it's really, really great. I've seen a cranial sacral therapist my entire life. My daughter's a Reiki master. So a lot of the oils I'll put in places that are recommendations from her or other professionals, but in my own simple way, just to get that rid of my aches and pains, to be able to sleep and to feel confident when I go out in my plethora of protective coverings. So
that's such a great reminder that it helps our body physically, because with Valor, I always think, oh, I just breathe it in, because it's such a grounding, emotionally grounding oil when you breathe it in, but it really does. It's actually, the nickname for Valor is called chiropractor in a bottle. And Noelle was she just wrote great on the lower back and sacrum. And I do have a personal story like that, because my back was hurting me and I rubbed it on my lower back and tried to rub it into my spine. And then we went out to lunch and all of a sudden I was like, oh, my back doesn't hurt anymore. It was so cool. So
That's
cool.
exactly what happened when I went to bed and I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, it's gone.
Yep. And we also have some chiropractors in our community that will use it with their patients. They'll put it on their patients' feet before their adjustments, let them just sit for a few minutes, and then bring them in for their adjustment, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and my craniosacral person uses it in the raindrop technique as part of her.
Yes. And Tuttle actually gave Dominic's my husband, gave him a raindrop massage. And he said, as soon as you had applied the Valor to his feet, he felt his spine just go, like he physically felt everything just kind of like click back in place, going right up his body. Super cool stuff, you guys. And Valor did not used to come in the starter kit. So it is really exciting that they added it to the starter kit and we get it now.
I think it really completes the package.
Yeah, such a great thing. All right, and we're going to talk about, Kathy, you're going to share a Panaway story with us. Kathy Yanone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can.
Yes, I have Panaway with, I can't say the Copaiba.
Copaiba, yeah.
Copaiba, Panaway Copaiba, and a carrier oil. And I spray it on my knees because I have pain in my knees and my lower back. And I use it every day, every morning. You know, after I get out of the shower and dry up, it goes right on my knees, right on my back.
And you made a spray bottle with it?
Yeah, I have a big blue spray bottle. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's such a good idea. So
I put some witch hazel in there too because the oil was it wouldn't come out the spray the way I liked it. So I put some witch hazel in there with it. Yeah.
That's such a great idea. And Copaiba, you guys, is an oil. It used to come in the starter kits, but it doesn't come in it anymore. But it's definitely one I would put on your wish list to get. It is an amazing oil that helps with inflammation. It's incredible. We use it all the time. It's in all of my muscle mix blends and pain blends. And when you use it with Panaway, that is such a great combination. Panaway
I'm sorry.
Who was that?
That was
Dina?
me.
Yeah, go.
I didn't want, sorry, I thought you were done there. It was a little, really quickly, the Copaiba still comes in the kit in Mexico, but that trio of how I use it and how it's worked for me, it got rid of my mom's sciatica and like so fast. I had knee surgery just a few months ago and I've had tremendous issues with inflammation. So Copaiba is great for pain and inflammation. Panaway, of course, for pain. But I use a trio, and sometimes I'll even put it in a carrier, like a bottle with a mixture and a carrier, and roll it on. But I'll use first Copaiba, kind of opens up the receptors, then the Panaway, and then I put peppermint on top. And that drives it super deep and so good. I mean, that has saved so much for pain. That trio for me, I'm talking about trios, loved it. Love. Copaiba, Panaway, peppermint, with or without, well, probably carrier oil on top or mixed together.
That was my husband's gateway trio as well.
Yeah,
when he thought I was crazy.
Amazing.
He still thinks I'm crazy, but
but it worked.
What was he using it for, Noelle? What was he using it for?
So he's a landscaper, and one of the winters when I first got my kit, he was putting the plow in his truck and it slipped off sideways on his back. So he definitely broke his ribs, which I wasn't worried about the breaking of the ribs healing. I was worried about the pain he was in. So applied it topically 3 to 4 times a day. I also put it in a spray bottle because it's easier to just pre-make and then layer the peppermint on top. And like within a week, he could like pinpoint a pinprick versus like a whole broad area and not have problems breathing or taking deep breaths in. So that's huge if you've ever broken ribs.
That is huge. Wow, that is incredible.
And a couple of people in my community, people using oils with our team have themselves or a family member who have struggled with addiction. And I know that's a big problem with recovering from surgeries and just in the medical community with prescription of opioids. And they've been able to to use Panaway and the oils for pain and discomfort to be able to avoid taking medications in some of those cases where they have longer standing pain and issues has been amazing.
Yep, my friend's son is an arborist, so he climbs trees and cuts them down, and also a recovered addict, and he fell once at work and broke his back and could not use regular pain medications, and that's when he started using Young Living oils. This was years ago, and that's what he used to help manage the pain, and it was a mix of Panaway and lemongrass and peppermint and all those oils that help with that. It's incredible. These oils are just amazing, really do support our bodies in so many ways. And we're going to talk about thieves next. Jennifer.
Hi,
where you at?
everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I am a mom of a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I feel as though my thieves in a bottle is like my mom's superpower. I use all the oils all the time, but I feel like this is my go-to to really keep my kids healthy and like something that I actually control and help them stay, above the wellness line. So this is a blend, and it's clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary, and it helps to boost immunity, which is amazing. So different ways you can use it. It also comes in it's one of the Vitality oils, which is great. So here's the 2 bottles side by side. And so you can add it to like your tea in the morning and kind of spice up your tea a little bit because it has that like spicy aroma. And it's something that you find in all of the cleaning supplies for Young Living. So, obviously we're using thieves from everything from our toothpaste to like cleaning the toilets, which is crazy. And it works for, so many different things. I diffuse it obviously for my kids often now because the time that we're living in. And so it is a natural airborne, it kills airborne bacteria, which is excellent. I was making my own topical roller with the carrier oil, but then I actually just kind of invested in a few of the already pre-made thieves rollers, which is great. Also just love the bottles that the rollers come in. Can we talk about that? Like, they're just so cute, how it just can store them. So I roll these, the thieves on my kids' feet every night, and my husband and I. So you can use it all 3 ways. And so I just feel like this is my, this is what I can control in my house. And I just love the power that it gives me to keep my family healthy.
Yeah, thieves is the immune system. That's like our immune system go-to with this blend. So you're right, you can use it all 3 different ways. We're doing it 2 drops under the tongue, like whenever we think about it. We alternate between this and Raven in the diffuser almost every day now. We'll add other oils to change up the scent, but like thieves or Raven is usually the base. And just by breathing it in, taking it internally, it is a huge, who wants to tell the story of thieves? How Gary Young came up with this blend? Come on.
I can.
Kelowna.
Wants to. Did I cut someone off? Okay.
No, go for it. Tell us.
I like to tell stories. So during the time of the plague, when people were dying, there was this group of robbers that was basically robbing and stealing from the people who had died. And everybody was wondering why they weren't afraid of getting the plague. So when they were finally caught, they were offered a lesser sentence if they would give up their secret as to why they were okay with touching the, dead people to steal their stuff. And they said they were spice traders and they were slathering themselves in what is in thieves. So clove, cinnamon bark, lemon, rosemary, and then Gary Young added eucalyptus. So it is a very old and very famous combination, and Gary Young just stepped it up a little bit with eucalyptus.
Yeah, and this stuff works. This works. So really, it's such a gift that it comes in the starter kit. You get it right off the bat. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about frankincense, another oil that comes in the kit that is so, so, so valuable. I mean, this oil by itself is like around $80, and you're getting in the kit. We get it, we just pay $165 and get all 12 of these oils, including frankincense. It's such a huge, huge value. And our frankincense, I saw a video once of Gary Young, how they get the frankincense. It's actually a resin that oozes out of the frankincense trees. And then you have to like slice the tree bark in the same spot 3 times, and you wait a certain amount in between each time. And on the 3rd slice, the resin that oozes out, that's the resin they take, and then they actually distill that resin. And that's how they get the frankincense oil. So it's such a cool process. And it is a huge spiritual oil, huge grounding oil. It calms your nervous system. It works with your brain. You can put this in the diffuser. You can put this on topically for skin support, you guys. This is going to be one of your best skin supporting oils you could use. It helps with fine lines and wrinkles, even out skin tone. I mean, it just goes on and on. You could put 1 drop in your face moisturizer and moisturize your face and your neck and this area, your décolletage or whatever it's called, you know, and where the skin is real thin. You just want to rub this all over. You just want to bathe in it. It's great. Oh, speaking of bathing, it's probably great in a bath with Epsom salt. That's another way you guys can use your oils. I don't take baths because I'm actually too big for my bathtub. The bathtub is like so small. I'm like 5'10" and a half, and I don't fit comfortably. So I don't do baths, but you can with Epsom salt. Take your Epsom salt, put your essential oils in the salts, and then, is that how you guys do it? Who here does the Epsom salt thing with baths?
I do a lot of them.
And how do you do it?
I literally will put like a cup of Epsom salt, and then I just drizzle whatever oil I want. And I mean, it's kind of floats all over, but it's fine. You still get the same effect.
It's a great way to get some of the therapeutic benefits of the oils. And this is also a vitality oil, so you can take it internally. And next to feed, it's one of our best immune system oils that we have. It's a huge, on a cellular level, frankincense is so good for our cells. You can make capsules. You can just do 2 drops under the tongue. You can put it in your water. I don't know. It's just so valuable. And if you guys just Google frankincense oil, I mean, the list of health benefits goes on and on. It's incredible. Does anyone else want to share anything about frankincense and how you're using it?
I do.
Beat me.
Go for it.
Hi. So back to the dogs. I actually make a skin support blend for the dogs, which is very similar to the skin serum that you can use in the starter kit. So lavender and frankincense with fractionated coconut oil I use on all of my doggies' skin needs, and works like a charm.
Like for hot spots and stuff?
Hot spots, or even if they're just get little, you know, they just scratch or whatever it might be. Any little itch even, it'll soothe it. I'll sometimes add a little copaiba as well if they're really itchy, and they'll just calm right down. So my girl especially has seasonal allergies on her skin. So despite the food, I know most allergies are food, but their food doesn't change, but her seasonal itchy does. So I know it's related to the outdoors. So that with a little extra copaiba with the coconut oil calms them right down.
That's great to know.
I just started using Frank and lavender with a pinch of Himalayan salt, distilled water, and a nasal spray mist thing. Noelle had tried to get me to do it years ago. I'm like, I'm not sticking anything up my nose.
Finally.
ever.
How long did that take?
Oh, like 2 years. I'm telling you. So I've been waking up with a sinus headache in the mornings the last 2 weeks here with everything blooming. That really Myrtle's my go-to for. But I don't know. I made it for a girlfriend because her allergies are so terrible. I figured I would try it for myself. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it does not feel terrible. I was like, I can't. I like all I could think of was it feel like when you jump in a pool and you get that water up your nose. Not at all. It was awesome. So again, you're correct, Noelle.
Super quick. After my surgery a few months ago, I was using right away as soon as I could, like on the suture sites, lavender and frank, and actually helichrysum too. But you can't even tell. Like the scars it's gone. I can't even tell where the incisions were. So
Oh,
that was
wow,
great.
Dina,
I
that's
used it
so
initially
cool.
for to keeping it clean because I didn't really want to use anything else, and then getting the sutures out. Then yeah, so it has all kinds. They clean and they fix your skin.
That is awesome. Can you say again what that nose spray was, Tracy? You're muted. I can't unmute you.
Or type it in the chat. Oh, there we go.
Or type it in the chat, yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. I'm talking citrus fresh, right?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna wrap up.
Yes.
This is the last oil in the kit. We made it. And then the stuff in the secret compartment. So when you get your starter kit, you'll see there'll be 10 oils that are right on top. And then underneath, there'll be 2 more oils. And we'll go over the rest of the stuff that's in there in a minute. So Citrus Fresh is the last and 12th oil that we're going to talk about today. And it is a blend of all different citrus oils: orange, tangerine, mandarin, grapefruit, lemon, and it also has a little bit of spearmint. Now, the benefit of having lots of different cold pressed, remember the citrus oils are cold pressed from the rind of the fruit, cold pressed oils, and all of these citrus oils are very high in something called limonene. And after this call, I want you guys to go Google benefits of limonene and just watch what comes up. So when we talk about the oils and we talk about different properties and different qualities, we are not going to make any claims that these oils are going to cure you or fix you. You know, we're not doctors, and even if we were, we're not prescribing oils. We are just sharing stories of how they have helped us, and we have references that talk about specific properties and qualities of the oils. So you can also get yourself an essential oils reference guide, which we're going to tell you where to get it. And you can look up different symptoms and different ailments and see what oils or what Young Living products would help support you there. But it's fun to Google some of these things. So definitely go Google benefits of limonene and see what comes up there and why you might want Citrus Fresh in every single thing that you eat or drink. So what I do is I actually take my water bottle and I will add maybe like 4 drops. I already put some in this morning, but I'll add some more. I'll put maybe 4 drops of Citrus Fresh. When you first get started with oils, it's already been mentioned to go low and slow because they're extremely cleansing and detoxifying, and they're very strong. After you've been using them for a while and you have them in the diffuser and you're drinking them in your water and, you know, starting to rub them on your body, you will start to use more of them naturally. But at first I would start out with just 1 drop. But it smells incredible. It makes my water taste amazing. And like we talked about with lemon, I will drink 3 times as much water. I will easily drink the water that I need to drink for the day if my water tastes like Citrus Fresh. Also Citrus Fresh, it's not just for ingesting. It can also be put in your diffuser. I put it in my garbage disposal to kind of freshen it up. I even will add it with some Thieves Household Cleaner, which is another product that you will soon fall in love with, because Thieves Oil that we talked about comes in a whole line of products that you can clean your home with, that you can wash everything from clothes to dishes. So I actually add Citrus Fresh to my sink and clean with it because it smells good, and then it also just helps to brighten and freshen and shine things up, even like your grout or stainless steel or anything like that. So of course there's multiple benefits. And Citrus Fresh is just one of those oils that also on the emotional side of things, it is very uplifting. So people often who are anxious or stressed or feel kind of down in their mood or are affected by, you know, seasonal affective kind of disorder type stuff, if you live somewhere where you can't go outside, the citrus oils are incredibly uplifting. So something that you can breathe from your hands or put in your diffuser just to give you a mood boost. So that's the last oil in the kit. And then you'll have, once you take those oils off the top, you'll have what we call the secret compartment. So underneath here, there is actually something that blocks you from being able to see this. And you pull this ribbon and this white part off, and then you can see all these other goodies inside. So you get 2 of those roller balls that we talked about with the stress away, and you can put them on whatever oils you want. And I am going to talk about a high antioxidant drink called Ningxia Red. So Ningxia Red, you'll get 2 of these little packets, 2 2-ounce packets in the bottom of your kit. And when I first saw these, I was like, what is that? Looks like something out of a kid's lunchbox. Like, I don't really know what that is. So this is going to be your new best friend. It's one of the best parts of the kit. So it is infused with essential oils, but it is a wolfberry puree. And wolfberries are the highest antioxidant food on the planet. So let that sink in for a minute. Highest antioxidant food on the planet. We need more antioxidants because we are affected by our free radicals from toxins in our air, our water, our food. It's basically like we rust on the inside is how I like to describe free radicals. And we need antioxidants to combat that rust. So not only do wolfberries help with, or they're high antioxidants, so they help with that, they are anti-aging, they help us with our immune system support, they help with healthy eyesight. Wolfberries help give us more energy, they help our digestion. People even notice joints and muscles feeling different after starting to use and drink Ningxia Red. So our family drinks it every day. It has more vitamin C than oranges, more beta carotene than carrots. It's one of the most nutrient dense superfoods that there is. And so it's a little bit tangy, a little bit sweet. It tastes great if you put it in the refrigerator. And now we buy it in bottles. So you can reorder Ningxia Red and it comes in 2-pack, 4-pack, or 8-pack bottles, depending on how big your family is or how much you drink. Or you can also order a box of these, which are the little packets. And I like both. So you can also order them where you get some bottles and some packets, but you'll get to try this in your kit and you just tear off the top and you just drink it. It's super tasty and it already has some citrus essential oils in there, but sometimes I add extra Citrus Fresh or Lemon Vitality just to give it a little boost. And you can either add it to your water and kind of sip on it throughout the day, or you could just drink it straight. Add it to your smoothies. Kids like them. You can throw it in the freezer and you could cut off the top and kind of push it up and eat it like a Otter Pop, or let it get slushy. Like I would throw it in my kids, you know, put it in their lunch, and by snack or lunchtime, it's melted and it's kind of slushy and you can just tear off the top. So that's going to be your new best friend. You're going to love it. And that can be on your next order because you're going to be hooked. And the thing that we notice with drinking Ningxia Red is when you drink it consistently for 30 days, when you stop drinking it, you notice a difference. That was what happened with me. I noticed I had less energy and I just wasn't feeling the same level of energy in the afternoon, but it doesn't have caffeine or anything. I mean, it's not that kind of stimulant, but I just noticed that I feel better when I drink it. And so I drink it every day, at least once, sometimes twice. And then the other things that come in your kit are you get some Thieves hand sanitizer, which is great because it doesn't have any junk in it. So it's not dehydrating, it has aloe, it has thieves, so it has plants instead of toxic chemicals. It also has alcohol in there, denatured alcohol. It's actually denatured with peppermint oil. So it is totally safe for kids. It is amazing on your hands and it works really well. It smells really good. And there's also Thieves spray. So Thieves spray can be used, I will squirt it on a paper towel and like clean off my cell phone because, well, think about how gross phones get. I will spray surfaces. I will spray the knobs like doorknobs or handles in the bathroom. I'll actually spray my hands with it sometimes too. And then here's a little hack. So it is not labeled for this, but I'll tell you what I do with this. It is white, so you could pretend it's Vitality. I spray it in my mouth. If I have a sore throat or something, I will spray this right in my mouth. Just like if I were to use thieves oil, I put sometimes thieves oil on a little spoon with some honey. And that's one way that I use thieves to like support a healthy throat. I will also spray that right in my mouth. So thieves spray, it smells like thieves, and it's great for putting on any surfaces where you could accumulate bacteria or anything like that. So that's it. We got through the kit. You're still here.
We did it. Yay. Thank you everyone for sharing so much. And Tut, you want to talk to us about community support?
I think that's one of the biggest things here is, you know, how we all watch a show or something and all of a sudden you buy an item and then you then look at it or use it once and then that's that, you know. And I've always shared with people, when you want to begin this journey of oils, this is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle that there are thousands of people in a tribe, in a community that are here to help. And you know, just in our leg of people, it's just never ending, the support that we get. And when I mean support, I'm talking about, hey, I've got this going on, you know, let's have a person research it in a Facebook group or talk to people who might have been going through it. It's a community of support and education to help everyone. So, I mean, we have been very aggressive doing the Zoom calls, obviously. And just for the rest of this month, we have one on May 11th for Young Living for Pets and Animals. We have another one May 18th for Emotional Release with Oils. And then on May 25th, we have Hormone Happiness. So it's showing all the different facets that essential oils or these plant-based products can help support you with. There are never-ending rabbit holes for everyone to go down. The thing is, you got to find your way back because there's so many different ways to go. There's never ending support. So that's one of the things I thought was incredibly impressive about this community.
Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your personal stories, because that's how we learn from each other. And we shared a lot of really cool, easy tips that you guys can just work into your everyday lives. Use your oils every day. Someone here, they said, take them out of the box, put them up where you can see them, or you're not going to use them, right? The idea of using something like this is to feed your body something good every day instead of waiting until you're sick, or we like to say like you've fallen below the wellness line, when then it's like so hard to get back up, right? Especially naturally. So if you do something good for your body, diffuse, breathe these in, make a little capsule, put some oil in your water, these simple, easy things every day, you're building, you're strengthening your immune system, you're feeding all of your body systems good, healthy stuff. And overall, you're just going to be have stronger systems because of it.